Edmonton. And first of all, Dylan Holloway is likely going to make this team.
Mm-hmm.
He's, as I've mentioned, and other pundits have said, that this guy is just like freaky athletic. So even if he's not the greatest hockey player or has the greatest hockey IQ, like his innate ability is just like on another level with just what he's able to do physically. And so he's likely going to be carving out a role for himself in the bottom six. I think he contribute on the score sheet and contribute in other ways. He's had the benefit of being able to play a little bit in college hockey this year. So
and played well too. I think he had a hat trick.
Right.
Yeah, he's definitely been, I think, impressing some people a little bit. I know Oilers fans have been a little polarized, I guess. Maybe that's not the right word, because I think even the most positive among Oilers fans are just kind of saying, well, let's wait and see. But there's a lot of people who weren't and haven't been very excited about that pick. But I think maybe I don't know. I think I'm a little higher on him than a lot of Oilers fans are.
Yeah, and maybe some of the lull, I can't speak for Oilers fans, but it was pretty much chalk. Every mock draft had Holloway to the Oilers at 14, and so I think they had a lot of time to maybe overanalyze the pick, and he went 14. It was, I think, other than first overall, one of the easiest slottings that a lot of mock drafts had was Oilers getting Holloway at 14, and so maybe that kind of dulled or dampened some excitement around that.
Took the shine off a little bit.
Took the shine off.
Yeah.
Maybe it was easier to dig for negatives after reading a lot about a certain prospect. It's maybe harder to see the things that you like, or they don't seem to outweigh the things that you find as cautionary, right, for a prospect.
He, some of the narrative around him really reminds me of Brady Tkachuk, actually, where a lot of people who praise the player and list their attributes and strengths will mention strength. They'll talk about, a lot of physical tools, and then they won't really talk about, it's nice to hear about a prospect who has a really flashy shot or crazy vision or hockey IQ or skating, something like that. And when you hear about a prospect who it's like, you describe their physical tools and like they're good in front of the crease and like it's not as exciting. And a lot of, I remember being a Habs fan around the time they picked Kotkaniemi and reading so many things talking about, so the projection at the time was it was going to be Zadina or Tkachuk. And so many people were like, Zadina, like just because he has that shot, he has that one kind of special asset. And it's easy to look down on prospects who don't have that, but look what Tkachuk has become already, And I'm not knocking Zadina. I don't think that, it's over for him in terms of development.
He's definitely looked good in the Czech Republic back home. That's so positive.
I just want to bring that up to help provide some context that, hey, just because this guy may not have a super flashy something, that you're wowed by, it's easy to write him off and say, oh, it's just old-fashioned guys who think it's, bump and grind and dump and chase, but they can really bring stuff to the table, and you just have to look to Ottawa to see an example of that. Yeah,
and I don't even know if you realize how accurate that analogy is, because Holloway was a late birthday who went to college and then got drafted.
Right.
And that was the same with Tkachuk as well.
Yeah.
But it was, speaking of, we'll get to the flashy player, because I'm sure Edmonton fans are really, really like, come on, Philip Broberg. Like, this is...